Good morning. This is Sentinel's RV GCR Daily Brief. Your daily read on the dinar, the dong, and the whole GCR. I'm Truman Vale, and I am genuinely glad you're here. Look, I'll be honest, I've been circling Monday the 13th on my calendar, like a kid waiting for summer camp, because this is the day we've all been hearing about. The Iraqi Prime Minister's trip to Washington. Big meetings with President Trump. Energy deals, economic partnerships, the whole 9 yards. So let's talk about what actually landed overnight, what people are hoping for this week, and where the chatter is moving from here. Yesterday, we were watching that sense of anticipation build around this Washington visit. The idea that this could be the tipping point, the thing that finally moves the needle. And this morning, the Prime Minister did land. Word going around is he touched down at Andrews Air Force Base yesterday morning, right on schedule. So that part's real. He's here, the meetings are happening, and the community is watching every headline that comes out of it. Here's the thread people are running with. Iraq is framing this trip as a shift from crisis management to long-term economic partnership. Energy sector development, investment deals, trade agreements. The kind of structural stuff that, if you believe the theory, could finally give Iraq the room to finish its monetary reform and let that dinar move. One widely followed voice is putting it this way. Major agreements in energy and the economy get signed this week. Iraq completes its cabinet, and the reform work wraps. That's the hope anyway. Take it with a grain of salt. We've heard this is the week plenty of times before, and the story has a way of evolving. But the visit itself is real, and it's easy to see why people are excited. The dinar side of things is picking up a little buzz too. The chatter this morning is that the dinar has been slowly gaining against the dollar in the street markets. Small moves, directional, nothing dramatic, but it's being watched as a sign that de-dollarization is actually starting to take hold. One thread making the rounds. Trump and the Prime Minister might discuss the dinar's movements on the global market scale while they're face-to-face this week. Is that going to happen? I have no idea, but it's out there, and people are hoping. And here's the thing. You didn't have to wait for me to tell you that this morning. Anybody with the free app saw that the second it hit, because you can set up custom notifications for exactly the stuff you care about. You want to know the instant something drops about the dinar? Flag it. You want pings every time a certain voice you follow puts out new intel? Done. You want to mute everything else and only hear about Iraq and Washington meetings? You can do that too. It all pushes straight to your phone the moment it lands, so you're never waiting on the next show to catch up. It's free, it's in one place, and honestly, it's how I start my morning now. Everything we're about to talk about, right there, any hour you want it. Let's break it down currency by currency, because there's a little movement on each. Dinar. This is the main event this week. The Washington meetings, the cabinet completion, the reform rollout. It's all tied together. The thinking goes, if these agreements get signed, if the energy and economic partnerships move forward, Iraq finally has the stable footing to let the dinar appreciate. One line I keep seeing. Conditions before this visit will differ significantly from conditions after. That's the hope anyway. Street rates are nudging up a bit. The CBI is rolling out compliance frameworks and anti-money laundering protocols to align with international standards. And there's a sense that we're in an active phase now instead of just waiting. Could the dinar move this week, this month, early August? The chatter spans all three. I'm holding it loosely. We've been at this a long time and things change, but the ingredients people are watching are lining up in a way that feels different. Dong, quiet this morning. Nothing new breaking overnight, still the long, steady play for a lot of folks, but today the spotlight's on Iraq. Zim, also quiet on fresh intel. But the Zim holders are watching the same timing windows everybody else is. the sense that if bonds start rolling and Tier 4B gets released, the ZIM comes into play. That's the theory. We'll see. So here's the story of the day, and it's all one thread. The Washington visit, the energy deals, and what it means for the rate. The Iraqi Prime Minister is in Washington right now. The meetings start today and run through the week. The official framing from Baghdad. This is about transitioning the U.S.-Iraq relationship from crisis management to long-term economic cooperation. Energy sector development is front and center. Iraq wants to boost oil exports, unlock frozen funds, and build investment partnerships that stabilize the economy for the long haul. And here's where it ties to the dinar. The community's thinking is that Iraq can't finish its monetary reform until it has that stability in place. You need the energy revenue flowing. You need the international confidence. You need the cabinet fully formed so the government can actually execute. So if these agreements get signed this week, and the word going around is that's exactly what's on the table, starting today, then the theory is Iraq finally has what it needs to let the currency move. One thing I've been hearing a lot. ASYCUDA has started. That's Iraq's new customs system, the one that's supposed to help them track trade and reduce dollar dependency. People are treating that as a sign. The reform process is entering its final phase. Could be. I'll be honest, I don't know if that's the smoking gun or just another milestone in a long process, but it's what people are excited about right now. The timing calls this morning? They're all over the map, but they're clustering around this week and next. One voice is saying notifications and appointments could happen Monday or Tuesday. That's today or tomorrow, with exchanges possibly starting Wednesday the 15th. Another thread, bond people are already receiving 1% payouts, rolling out east to west, and Tier 4B should be released anytime this week. A third angle, if it doesn't land by Thursday, look for it over the weekend. And then there's the longer view. Some folks are saying August is the real window, once the cabinet's done and the agreements have had time to settle in. Here's my take, and I say this with all the care in the world. We've been hearing any day now for a long time. Grain of salt. These are educated guesses, opinions, hopes built off real news. But nobody truly knows the day or the hour, and historically, the specific dates haven't panned out the way we'd all like. So I watch it, I track it, I keep you up to speed on what people are saying, but I'm not betting the farm on any single timeline, and neither should you. What I am watching. Does Iraq actually sign these deals this week? Does the cabinet get completed? Do we see any official statement from Baghdad or Washington that ties economic partnership to monetary policy? That would be new, and that would matter. The rest, the appointment calls, the bond rumor, the Admiral's group stuff. I'm holding loosely until we see something concrete. So what do we actually watch for today? 1. Headlines out of Washington. If agreements get signed, if there's a joint statement from Trump and the Prime Minister, if oil exports or frozen funds get mentioned in an official capacity, that moves the needle. 2. Any statement from the CBI about the dinar's direction, especially if it ties to this week's meetings. That would be the clearest signal we've had in a long time. 3. The street rate in Baghdad. If it keeps climbing, even a little, that's real movement, and it backs up the de-dollarization story. 4. Whether the timing calls for this week start to converge or diverge. If multiple voices independently start saying the same window, that's worth noting. If they scatter, it's probably still speculation. And 5. Just how this week feels. I know that sounds unscientific, but this community has been through enough to know when the energy shifts from, we've heard this before, to, okay, something's actually different. We'll know it when we see it. Before I let you go, everything we just talked about, the Washington meetings, the dinar buzz, the timing calls from a dozen different voices, it's all in one place in the free app, updated the second it breaks, 24/7. You don't have to wait for me tomorrow morning. You don't have to chase it across a dozen feeds. You download it, you set up the notifications for exactly what you care about, and it comes to you. And VIP membership, which gives you the deeper tracking, the power user alerts, the stuff the serious folks watch. That's free right now, totally free. Worth grabbing while it is. It's coming to the app stores soon, but for now, the place to get it is GCRSentinel.com. Just head there, download it straight from the site, and you're in. And hey, soon you'll be able to send in your questions, and I'll answer them right here on the show. VIP member Q&A is coming, and I'm looking forward to it. That's it for today. Stay hopeful, stay smart, and I'll see you tomorrow morning with whatever this week brings. I'm Truman Vale. Thanks for listening.